It's Chrissy. Welcome back to my kitchen. You're seeing a totally different angle today because I'm going to be cooking on my stove and I didn't want my back turned to you, so it's kind of an odd angle. You get to see some of my cabinets as well, but thank you so much for joining me. Chicken pot pie is much beloved in this house. My children ask for chicken pot pie probably twice a week. I think if they could, they would have it every day. So I thought, I found a recipe. I've made so many different chicken pot pies over the years, and I haven't always been thrilled with how they turned out. So I'm gonna try this one and I've already tweaked it a little bit. So let's get started. I'm gonna show you how it comes together. We'll see. So, and I'm gonna share the recipe with you as well. So first of all, before I get started, I would love to know, are you chicken pot pie fans? Do you love it? Could you leave it? This is like ultimate comfort food, I think, and my children are here for it all day, every day. So I'm going to use our 12-inch skillet to get started here. I love this because the nonstick is PFOA free. It is not going to scratch off. It is metal utensil safe. It is dishwasher safe. It is oven safe up to 450 degrees. And I love the fact that this handle comes off. So you're just going to push in. There's a little button right here. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you guys. So there's a little button right here, and you push that in and then pull this button back and it just comes right off. So I love the fact that this does double duty. It's not just for cookware, it's also going to be your bakeware. It just makes everything safer. Let's see if I can get it on at this odd angle. So there you go. It also carries a lifetime guarantee, so we love that. All right, so I have 5 tablespoons of butter in here, and I'm just gonna set this to like a medium-high heat. I've already got half of my vegetables chopped. So this recipe called for green onions, which I love green onions. Don't get me wrong, I love them, but it just seemed weird for my chicken pot pie. And I had an onion instead anyway, so I'm gonna do a small onion. And then it also called for 1 celery stalk, and I love celery. I love the flavor of celery in my chicken pot pie. So I'm actually doing 2. So look at me, I've already been a rebel and changed things up. So this is our manual food processor. Again, let me zoom in on it. Manual food processor, I already showed this a few days ago. Love this. It is going on sale this month for my hosts. It's one of the 5 options that hosts can choose from. It winds up being like $28. Such a good deal. And I love it because it's a 3-cup capacity. There are measure markings on the side. It has these little this rubber ring around the bottom, so when you're chopping, you don't have to worry about it moving around your countertop. The bottom cup and the blade post that's already in there are dishwasher safe, and then this is hand wash only. You don't want to submerge this because there are openings so water could get in, and so I just turn it upside down like this, give it a quick rinse under the faucet, and put a quick bit of soap on sponge and wash it off that way. So makes it a little bit easier. And I just love that it definitely gives you control over how coarsely chopped or finely chopped your veggies are. So let me grab my scraper. This is the classic scraper. I showed this in a video earlier this week. Again, another one of the options for hosts if they so choose to get these this month. They can get 6 of our scrapers, again, under $30. All right, so in here I just already did half of my onion and 1 celery stalk, and I'm going to show you guys how to do the other one. So you're always going to start with your firmer foods when you do something in your manual food processor. So for example, you can definitely make salsa in here, and if you do that, you just want to do like your onion, your jalapeno first, and then add in your tomatoes at the end. So I'm right-handed. I will hold with this hand and then press down on the lever with my right hand. But if you are left-handed, you just turn it around. Or if you get tired, you can do it that way too. So you want to make sure you're coming all the way up and all the way down, because if you just do this in the middle, not a whole lot's going to happen. I also have my 5-inch Santoku knife here, and I'm just going to quickly kind of roughly cut the celery down just a little bit. Throw that in, and then again chop away. So if you need something that is more coarsely chopped, then all you have to do is just pump this a few times. If you want it to be hidden in your food, if you have vegetable pickers in your house like I do, you can just totally pulverize it and no one will ever find it. All right. Yep, perfect. All right, I'm just gonna scrape off the lid here into my pan. And this is just gonna cook for a few minutes just to soften those veggies up. And another tip with this too, I like to put the blade guard or the blade post in and then on the top rack, and then put the cup over the top of it. That way, when I go to empty out my dishwasher, I don't have an unpleasant surprise. All right, so all that comes out. Make sure it gets scraped up with the butter. Yum, yum. So you can see I'm using this scraper in this hot pan, and I'm not getting a river of plastic because this head is made out of silicone and it is heat safe to 652. You have to have that extra 2 degrees in there. Okay. So there you go. All right, so that's going. I'm just going to let it cook down just a tiny bit more, and then I'm going to add in some flour, but I'm going to turn my heat down just a bit. I'm also going to be using, this is a relatively newer tool. This is our sauce whisk. This one does have the wrapped wires, so if you are not lucky enough to have the Pampered Chef nonstick cookware, and you need to be careful with it scratching if you have other nonstick cookware, then this won't hurt it. So you'll be good to go. All right, that's looking pretty good. I don't want to go too long and make it too mushy. So I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. I've got 1/3 cup of flour that I'm just going to sprinkle in there. When you're measuring flour, by the way, little tip, I always have another spoon and I measure into, I spoon and kind of sift into my measuring cup. I never take my measuring cup and go right into my flour, because depending on the day, depending on how humid it is in your area, you're gonna get more or less flour, and that can definitely mess up your results. So I'm just giving this a quick stir and getting all that flour absorbed in with the butter and the veggies. Okay, and then I'm gonna take just a 1/4 cup, oh sorry, not the cream yet, but I am gonna do a 1/4 cup of cream. I've got 2 cups of chicken broth. So anybody who's followed me for a while, you know I love better than bouillon. Better than bouillon. Go out and get you some, because you're gonna like it. Okay, so I just do 2 cups of water, and then it's 2 teaspoons, because it's a teaspoon per cup of the better than bouillon. So it lasts a really long time, and it tastes so good. Let me give this a little bit more, I think. I'm gonna go wild and pour the whole thing in. And I usually, you can see it kind of blobs out. I don't care, because it's all gonna get mixed up anyway. So half the time I don't even put it into water. I just put put it directly into my my pot that I'm cooking in. So makes it super simple. All right, so now we're just gonna whisk this and whisk until it starts to thicken up. Okay. All right. Now that I know my flour's not burning, I'm going to turn this back up. So basically what we've done here, we're creating a roux with the vegetables. So I'm sure that there's an actual technical term, but I do know that the flour and butter and broth is your roux, which is going to be the base of your sauce. And then the nice thing about this, I'm using heavy cream today just because that's what I've got. But you can do half and half if you wanted to. You could just do regular milk. So you can definitely make this lighter, and you're controlling the ingredients, which is nice. All right, so while I'm stirring this, let me tell you what I did for my chicken. So back here, I just moved my deluxe multi-cooker. I would not cook with it right here because it's somewhat precariously sitting on the corner of my counter. But I don't know if you guys can see here, the lid is resting. We added a notch here, so now it can actually rest right on the side, and it works on either side. There's a notch on either side, so left-handed, right-handed, depending on what direction your cabinets are going, you can stick that lid in, and then you don't have to worry about where do I put this like watery steamified lid. And so what I did was I just put in a package, a little bit of oil on the bottom of my pan. I started on sear because that's my little like cooking hack, if you will, with my pressure cooker. And I did it with my quick cooker, and now I'm doing it with the deluxe multi-cooker as well. When you put it on sear, it's just preheating that pot. So not only are you going to get a little bit of color on whatever you're putting in there, but you're also going to decrease the time it takes to come to pressure. So a little bit of oil, put in a package of chicken tenders. I really like chicken tenders. I seasoned up with about a tablespoon of our garlic rub and about a tablespoon and a half of our 3 onion rub. So good. All right, that is nice and thick. I'm loving that. And so then, and I added in a cup, because you always have to have at least, at like bare minimum, a half a cup of liquid. So I did a half a cup of chicken broth, again, better than bouillon. Set it to the poultry setting, which goes for 15 minutes. And then I just did a quick release. So it was super, super easy. All right, so I'm going to just put this to this temp right now. So this particular recipe that I have calls for a whole bunch of different seasonings. The lovely thing about Pampered Chef seasonings is that they're all mixed in there for you. So I'm gonna do a little bit of lemon pepper. Again, you know me, I don't measure. I don't know. The recipe does call for a 1/4 teaspoon of lemon pepper. I think that's good. That looks good. And then I used this the other day and I am loving it right now, the herbs de Provence. So I'm going to throw in just about a tablespoon. I need to order some more of this. So our herbs de Provence has fennel, thyme, rosemary, and lavender. So you've got all of those seasonings in one instead of a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. So I personally am all for making my life easier because you guys know I've got 2 kids. I teach elementary school. My husband's a principal. Our kids are in activities, but we're like everybody else. Nothing special. We're just super busy like everyone else in the world. Okay, so now I'm gonna add in a 1/4 cup of my cream. And you wanted to turn this down so that that cream doesn't break and curdle in the high heat. All right, so basically what we're doing here is creating our own, in this case, cream of celery soup. So you don't have to break open a can. Now, there's nothing wrong with breaking open a can. You know, I like to be semi-homemade too, so it's all good. No judgment here. All right, let me grab, I've got about 2 cups of frozen mixed veggies. The recipe said to thaw it. I'm not thawing it. I don't care. All right, I did forget to set my oven. I think I need to be on, 350, not 400. You don't want to bake the heck out of it. All right, so that's going. Now, let me talk to you about what I have going on in here. So, this is cool enough, I can pull it out now. Do not try to take your inner pot out of your multi-cooker right off the bat if you just turned off the steam, because you're gonna have a rude surprise. It is not meant to be coming right out. So normally I would grab my hot pads to do that, but I'm not gonna worry about that. So let me show you guys salad choppers. If you have never seen these beauties, you are missing out. Everyone in America needs at least one set of salad choppers. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but I did already chop these up a little bit. But all I'm doing is just doing a scissor motion, and the 2 blades of the salad chopper are taking my chicken and just shredding it up. And these have a lifetime guarantee, and they're dishwasher safe. I always put them in the top rack. All right, so now I'm gonna use my scoop and drain. Love this. I know it looks a little bit like a kitty litter scoop. If you have cats, you could always get 2, but we don't have cats, and I would not be using this if we did. So I'm just using that to drain off all the juice. This is, the recipe calls for 3 cups. I'm just eyeballing it. I don't know. This could be 3 cups, it could be a little bit more. I'm not terribly worried about it. All right, that's good enough. Then you have all this lovely broth in here. If you wanted to save it and use it for something else, you could. All right, let me move everything else out of the way. And I'm gonna show you what I'm cooking this in. I'm gonna give this a quick little stir. Now, do you see why I wanted to use my big pan? So this is not a small amount that you're cooking here. You definitely want a nice big pan. And this pan, this 12-inch, it is a covered skillet, so it does come with a lid. And I love it. I tend to use this one probably even, well, I don't know. I can't say I use it the most. I use everything a lot. All right, guys, so let me show you how I'm gonna finish this off. So I have our covered enameled cast iron skillet. This is another thing that's on sale this month, but this one is on sale for everybody. Hosts, guests, anybody who just wants to pop onto the website and order it. So the neat thing about this, in the lid, we're not using the lid today, but in the lid, you have these little buttons, these little nubbins, and those create a self-basting oven. So when you are doing a roast or meat in here, you're gonna have that steam bounce up. It drips down back into and onto your meat so that you have really nice, tender, flavorful meat. All right, so in here, let me show you what I did. I used the kitchen spritzer, and I spritzed the bottom of it just so that I wasn't gonna have any major stickage. And then I used our baker's roller. I love this one because it has 2 sides. This one is a little bit more beveled, so it's nice to be able to get up the sides of things. And I just rolled the sides of this refrigerated pie crust up the sides, okay? So now I'm gonna take this, pop it in here, put another crust on top, and I'm gonna bake it for about 40 minutes. I will show you the results later, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know. Are you chicken pot pie fans? I would love to know. All right, hope you all are having a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.